Good morning. In the previous class, we have derived equation to calculate shape factor, or we also call them configuration factor or view factor. So this tell us how the configuration and or we can say the orientation of object will decide the overall heat transfer between two object. In today class, we will discuss how heat transfer takes place between two non-black body. In all previous lecture our main focus was on black body, but in today lecture our focus was heat exchange between non-black body. So what is the difference? The main difference is that let us assume we have two non-black object. So this one is object 1 and this one is object 2. So whatever energy emitted by object 1, that is E1. So if these two objects are black body, then the energy emitted by object 1 that strike on object 2 and will be absorbed by surface 2, because the absorptivity of black body is 1. So whatever energy strike on surface 2 will be absorbed by that subject object. But for non-black body, their emissivity and absorptivity are not 1. So only fraction of incident radiation will be absorbed by the object, and the remaining energy either by reflected back or transmitted through the body. So and only fraction of that radiation will be absorbed and remaining radiation will be emitted back. So in that we calculate heat exchange between non-black body. So the black body concept is an idealization which serve as a standard for the performance of a real body. And in engineering application, most surfaces encountered do not behave like black body, which absorb the entire incident radiation. The real surface, that is non-black body, do not absorb the whole of incident radiation, and a part is reflected back to the radiating surface, and this back and forth reflection between the surface may go on several times. So we take an example of heat exchange between infinite parallel planes. So for that we made several assumptions. The following assumptions are made for analysis of radiant heat exchange between two non-black parallel surfaces. First is the configuration factor of either surface is unity. Configuration factor means unity, means whatever energy emitted by surface 1 will strike on surface 2. There is no radiation lost. So all the energy emitted by 1 will strike on surface 2. This is our first assumption. The second assumption is there is non-absorbing medium. It means the medium between these two objects is non-absorbing, such as air in between the surface. So all the energy emitted by surface 1 will strike to surface 2, and there is no radiation absorption by the medium. The third assumption is that the surfaces of an enclosure to be opaque, diffuse, and gray. What it means? It means the surface are non-transparent because they are opaque. They are diffuse emitter and diffuse reflector because the surface is diffuse. Diffuse means the radiation emitted by the object is uniformly distributed in all direction. And the third is the surface is gray. What it means? Their radiation property are independent of wavelength. And the last assumption is that each surface of the enclosure is isothermal, and both incoming and outgoing radiation are uniform over each surface. So these are our main assumptions. Now we are calculating heat exchange between two infinite parallel plates. So let's say this one is plate 1 and this one is plate 2, and there is an energy exchange between these two plates. So because the body is no these are non-black body, so this is amount of radiation emitted by surface 1. Because it is non-black, so only fraction of energy which strike on surface 2 will be absorbed by surface 2. So if the absorptivity of surface 2 is this alpha 2, then the energy absorbed by surface will be, this is incident radiation, and if we multiply it by its absorptivity, then it will give you total amount of energy which is absorbed by the surface. So this alpha 2 E1 will be amount of energy absorbed by surface 2, and the remaining energy will be reflected back to surface 1. Remaining energy will be alpha is fraction of radiation absorbed by the plane 2. The remaining energy will be the 1 minus alpha 2, that is fraction, and total energy is E1. So if we multiply this fraction by E1, it will give you total amount of energy which will be reflected back. So this is 1 minus alpha 2 E1. So this energy will reflect back and strike on surface 1. And if we say this alpha 1 is absorptivity of surface 1, so if this one is amount of energy incident on plate 1 and its absorptivity is alpha 1, so this is amount of energy absorbed by surface 1, and the remaining energy will again reflected back to surface 2. Now the remaining fraction will be 1 minus alpha 1, because alpha 1 is the fraction which is absorbed by plate 1. So the remaining fraction is 1 minus alpha 1, and the incident radiation is 1 minus alpha 2 A2. So if we multiply this 1 minus alpha 1 by incident radiation, it will give you total amount of energy which again reflected back to surface 2. And this phenomena will continue again for this energy will be absorbed and remaining energy will be reflected back. So these are energy absorbed by multiple reflections by plate 1, and these are energy absorbed by plate 2 due to multiple reflection. So if we apply energy balance, then the amount of energy that has left surface 1 per unit time is given by this E1. E1 is amount of energy which leave surface 1. This is total amount of energy. So this amount of energy emit by surface 1, but this plate also gain energy due to multiple reflection. So these are amount of energy gained by the plate 1, and this one is amount of energy lost by the plate. So the total energy balance is amount of energy lost, this E1 minus amount of energy gain, that is summation of all these quantities. So in this way we can calculate this Q1, and after further simplification we can write this equation in this form, and finally in this form. Here Z is equal to 1 minus alpha 1 into 1 minus alpha 2. Now this value of alpha 1 and alpha 2 vary between 0 to 1. It means 1 minus alpha 1 will be a value between 0 to 1. Similarly 1 minus alpha 2 again vary between 0 to 1. So the multiplication of this 1 minus alpha 1 and 1 minus alpha 2 will be less than 1, because both quantity are less than 1, and its multiplication will also be less than 1. So this Z will be less than 1, and the series 1 plus Z square where extend to infinite give 1 upon 1 minus Z, this summation of this. So this equation can further written in this form. Or if we take this E1 as a common term, then we can write this equation in this form. Now if we apply Kirchhoff's law, it means this absorptivity and emissivity are equal at thermal equilibrium. Then we can rewrite this equation in forms of emissivity, and this equation can be written as in this form. This absorptivity and emissivity are equal, so in terms of emissivity we can write this equation in this form. Again, further if we further simplify this equation, then after simplification finally we can write this equation in this form. So in this way we can calculate Q1. Similarly we can calculate Q2, means amount of radiant energy which leaves surface 2 per unit time is given by this one. Now if we want to calculate net flow of heat energy from surface 1 to surface 2, will be Q1 minus Q2. Q12 will be equal to Q1 minus Q2. This Q1 and Q2 we already calculated over here. This one is Q1, this one is Q2. So this Q12 will be equal to Q1 minus Q2. So this one. So for non-black surface, if we apply Stefan-Boltzmann law, then this E1 will be equal to epsilon 1 sigma T1 raised to power 4. Similarly, E2 equal to sigma 2 epsilon 2 T2 raised to power 4. Here this epsilon 1 and 2 are emissivity, and this sigma is Stefan-Boltzmann constant, and this T1 and T2 are temperature of the surfaces in Kelvin. So if we replace this E1 and E2 in this equation, then this Q12 can be written in this form. And if we take or further simplify this equation like this, then we get this equation. Now if we replace this entire term by F12, then we can write this equation in this form. Here this F12 equal to epsilon 2 upon epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 minus epsilon 1 into epsilon 2, or with if we divide numerator and numerator by epsilon 1 epsilon 2, then this equation can be converted in this form, and this is called interchange factor for radiation from surface 1 to surface 2. So in this way we have calculated this interchange factor for infinite long plate. Similarly we can calculate interchange factor for other geometry. So these are some of the examples of interchange factor. So if we have infinite parallel plane, in that case this geometry factor or view factor will be 1, because whatever energy incident on surface 1 will strike on surface 2, so this view factor will be 0, and interchange factor is this one that we have calculated in our previous slides. Similarly, if we have infinite long concentric cylinder or concentric sphere, so if we have concentric sphere, again whatever energy incident on inner sphere will strike on outer sphere, so this geometric factor will be 1, and in that case interchange factor will be this one. Similarly, if body 1 enclosed by body 2, in that case this interchange factor 1 or this one is this one, and similarly for other case we can calculate interchange factor. So this is your homework to calculate interchange factor for different geometry. So this is end of today class. Thank you.